HourADayGamer here, and in today's video it's a special edition. I've been working on it for a while now, and it was originally starting out to be my 150 subscriber special edition, but actually as long as it took me to make it and get everything just perfect for you guys, I'm actually closer to 200 subscribers now than I am 150. So I mean, the support you guys have been giving me is amazing, and I appreciate every single one of my followers on Twitter and subscribers on YouTube. If you're new here, please drop a like on the video and check out the other videos and subscribe to the channel. So today, I think my viewers deserve to know who I am, and I recently conducted a Twitter poll, and it was a unanimous vote. I asked if people wanted to see my ugly mug or if I should keep it mysterious, and it was 100% show your ugly mug. So here I am. This is my first time actually on camera, and I'm a little nervous, but I'm doing okay. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and kind of what shaped me into the gamer that I am today. So as you can see here in the background, I've got some of my old school retro systems. I've kept them all. There's only one that I can think of that I actually got rid of, and that's because I donated it to a child who lost a lot of stuff in a fire. So it was just something I felt like I had to do. I had them all sitting around, and it was my PlayStation 1, and there was like 40 games for it, so I just gave him everything I had. And as far as I know, probably even still to this day, he's probably still got it, or I hope he does. And if he doesn't, then I hope he's giving it to somebody else and giving it to them to let them use it. So today I want to start out talking about my Atari. When I was like 5, maybe 6 years old when we first got this, and I loved it. I mean, it was great. I mean, just the way the joystick fits in your hand, and I mean, just a single button. It was so simple, and it was great. And my all-time favorite game for it is Pac-Man. It was a classic game, and there's millions of them sold worldwide. Arcade, console, everything. Pac-Man was great, and I played it for hours and hours. Now, I also used to have an Intellivision, which it got lost in a move or something when I was younger, so I don't remember exactly what happened to it, but the Intellivision had these great, I don't know if you can see these or not, had great control stickers, I guess you could say, that told you what each control did for, like, here's Night Stalker, so you had your different direction movements there, and triple action. There's just so many different, every game, here's a chess game, and every game had a different set of controls, and it was really cool. I really liked them. I've still got some of the original instruction booklets, so that's pretty cool too. And I haven't played it in a long time, but the last time I did, I mean, the old school adapter you had to hook up to it. I mean, it's just hard nowadays to find a video TV that will allow you to play this unless you have an old school TV. Now, after the Atari came the Nintendo for me. I was still really young, and I remember sitting and playing Zelda, Legend of Zelda, with my dad. And that was back before the internet days, and you couldn't just go on Google and find your way around, find all the secrets and everything. My dad, I don't know what I've done with them now, but I used to have, on grid paper, he drew every single dungeon for the original Legend of Zelda, and where you could blow holes in walls, where the keys were, where you could burn bushes. He just drew where the boss was, what it was you had to have to beat that boss, and he just broke it down so well. And I think that's where I originally got my love for gaming. And this Nintendo here is my original from the early 80s, and you see the awesome attachment. It still works today if you hook it up to an old TV. Your new modern LED and LCD TVs, the technology that's in this just does not work with it. You're completely off. You can hold it right against the screen and it's not going to work. I also have my turbo controller, my arcade style controller. It was really awesome. And unfortunately now this Nintendo, it only works if I play it on the Game Genie. Now you don't have to input codes if you don't want to, but I've still got my original code book. You don't have to input the codes, but unfortunately right now, for whatever reason, it only reads through the Game Genie. So I still love this system. I still hook it up every now and then and try to play through stuff. Like I said, I played through Zelda last summer just to say I did it, just to reminisce about old times. So yeah, this is really where I got my start as a gamer. So moving on now to the Game Boy. When I finally got this, it was so awesome to be able to take a game with you anywhere you went. It was just great. You could go over to a friend's house, and to me, you weren't cool unless you had the Game Boy officially licensed Nintendo carrying case. And it held inside your original Game Boy, which still works. And I believe right now I've got Pac-Man in there. I told you earlier how much I like Pac-Man. So yeah, it had this, well, in hindsight, it's a really bad design, green screen on it. And you couldn't see it at night. And so you only had to play, you could only play it in really good light. But you just, in this carrying case, you just had all your games, like Crash Dummies and Mega Man and GoldenEye. It was just great. But my all-time favorites were Pokemon Blue and, if I can get it open here, Pokemon Yellow. These are the classic Pokemon games, and I just loved them. And I've still even got all my old instruction manuals from back when games actually came with instruction manuals. King of the Ring, Battletoads, all the Pokemon, Gold, Silver, Yellow, Blue, Red, all of them. And, I loved the original Game Boy, but when they came out with the Game Boy Color, and I got Pokemon Red in here right now I was playing. Turn it on here. Yeah, this still works. And you can sit here and play Pokemon Red. Power just went off because batteries are dead, but it still works. And I used to love this. It was just a great invention. Game Boy Color, you could take it with you and have awesome color games. But again, it wasn't very good at night. So I remember when I finally bought this attachment, and it has a light on it and a magnifying glass, so you could actually play at night. It was just a great deal. And I remember my parents, they would tell me hey, it's time to go to bed. You got to go to bed. Well, I would sneak this into my room, and I'd have my Game Boy Color, and I'd pop it on there, and I could have my magnifying glass and a light, so I could play under the covers at night. And it's something my parents, I don't remember ever getting caught doing it, but it was something that I could have gotten caught and gotten in trouble, but I didn't. So if you guys are watching now, I'm sorry, you can ground me. Anyway, so moving on from the Game Boy and Game Boy Color is the Super Nintendo. This was another amazing console. It was my first 16-bit system, and it was just amazing. I played this thing for hours and hours. Mario World, Mario Kart, Lost Vikings was another one of my favorites. It was kind of a strategy game where you had 3 characters and you had to navigate through the levels. Each character had his own special ability and unique style that you had to incorporate. So it was a really fun game. And I need to go back and do this, but in the instruction manual for it, in the back was all the levels, and I only made it to level 33. I actually went through each level and wrote down the password that unlocked the corresponding level. That was also, again, back before you had the internet and could just go on there and Google any level and whatever you wanted to do. So I would really like to go back through this and play this and try to go ahead and complete the game. But I could play this system for hours and hours, and my brothers and I would always fight over it, because I would take longer to die before anybody else, so I always got a longer turn. And that used to make them so mad, and I used to get in trouble for that, but it was what it was. I enjoyed doing it, and I was just really good at it, and it was, again, I could just spend hours playing it and not get bored. So after the Super Nintendo came my first PlayStation, and like I said, I donated that to a kid who needed it more than I did. It was just collecting dust. So yeah, maybe I'll get another PlayStation someday and maybe try to find some of the old games I had and do a little video on that. I also had a Nintendo 64, which I don't have out here right now because I only have one game for it. But Mario Tennis was by far my favorite Nintendo 64 game. After the Nintendo 64, I bought the PlayStation, and we actually got it for Christmas. And I bought several games. My brothers bought several games, and we played through them for years. Final Fantasy 10 and 9. That was a couple of my favorites. It was just a really cool system, and you still, fight your memory cards and all that, just like PlayStation 1. But I really enjoyed it. I really did. But then I graduated. It was right around the time I was getting out of high school. I moved out, and at some point, it got sold without me knowing, and also my games. So I don't currently have that system. So yeah, I've just always enjoyed video games, and now I've got a DS with a few games. I got my Wii sitting back here and all those games. I spent hours and hours just standing up in the middle of the room flicking that Wii remote, for Wii bowling, playing Wii Sports, bowling, the baseball. It was all fun. I loved those. And now, I got my PS3, and my favorite game for that was Borderlands. Now I'm getting up into the current gen stuff, and PlayStation 4, as you know, Call of Duty is my favorite game right now. Before Call of Duty Black Ops 4, it was Infinite Warfare, and that game got a lot of bad hype. I loved the advanced movement, and it was just great. So yeah, and I still love to go back and play it. I might even make a video on it. Infinite Warfare was back before I actually got into making YouTube videos. I never did record my gameplay or anything like that. It was just something I did. I enjoyed it. After everything was done at night, the chores are done, the animals are taken care of, everybody's in bed, excuse me, and it's just me. That's when I sit down and play. So yeah, if you guys are interested, please comment below and drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. If you want to see me do a special showcase on each one of these systems, or a particular system with some of the games I might have, and show some gameplay, like I said, Super Nintendo Lost Vikings was great. King Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball. That was another one of my all-time favorites. It had a full 162 game season, playoffs, World Series, Home Run Derby. You could edit the names of the guys because they were actually modeled off of current MLB teams at the time. So you could change their names to match the actual rosters if you wanted to. And it was just so much fun. And I actually might go ahead and start trying to make some videos of that. I don't currently have an Elgato game capture card of any kind. So in order to do some of these retros, until I can afford to get a card, I'm going to have to use an emulator. And emulation is a gray area, with the legalities and all that stuff. But if I do the emulation, what I'm going to try to do is stick to only emulating games that I actually own a physical copy of. And that'll be a start until I can get a capture card and actually start recording some real live gameplay of it. So yeah, if you guys like this video, that's awesome. Hit the like button and subscribe. And I really hope you guys have enjoyed this little introduction to myself. And, like I said, you guys are just great. When I first started, middle of February, early February with this, I never thought that I'd get as far as I have. And to be over 175 subscribers already, while I was in the process of trying to make a 150 subscriber video, is just great. You guys are awesome, and I can't thank you enough. So with that all said, I'll get to work on my next Call of Duty video, and like I said, maybe an Infinite Warfare video for you guys. Until next time, I will see you later.